Divinely Designed, Chapter 1, Created for Intimacy. A photograph of tomorrow. Tomorrow, another word for future. It was in the decade of my 30s that I was at the summit of Le Mollisson, Switzerland. I stood where Earth greeted the firmament with its assembly of the Swiss Prealps, bathed in sun-kissed flashes of summer hues. In the pinnacle of my photography obsession, I could not resist but preserve the moment in a photograph that would traverse the seasons. With my DSLR camera mounted on a tripod, I dashed into the frame with the magnificence of creation stretched behind me. 3, 2, 1. January of 2020, a good friend of mine called me and asked me. She mentioned that they are writing a book, and it's an anthology of people's experiences. And she asked if I'd like to participate and become one of the co-authors. So they were looking for 10 authors. They already had, I believe, 6 at the time, so they were still looking for 4 to participate. And she mentioned that she had offered it to some friends of hers and they all declined. And she came to me and I just said yes. So it was kind of an experience of, I remember giving a book to a friend of mine many years ago, and in the back of the book it says, "Jump first, fear later." So that's what I did. I just jumped first, and then after the book was published, that's when I felt all the fear. What is this book about? The title of the book is Divinely Designed. So in essence, if I were to summarize it, I'd say that we are not created as accidents. So there's a person behind our existence. So that's what it is, divinely designed, as the book says. Oh, very, very much different from writing a sermon. First of all, I was trained when writing a sermon, I was trained to create an outline. So basically my mindset was always an outline. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1A, 1B, 1C, things like that. So that's how I was trained. But in writing this, I have never written a sermon in narrative format. So that's the thing. So this is basically a sermon being written in narrative format. So for me, I had to think of how to convert that outline into narrative format. Well, that's the thing that's a miracle about the book, because there wasn't an intended continuity, and the only thing that was given to us was the title, Divinely Designed, and everything was pretty much right as you are led. And amazingly, when I saw the entire manuscript, I was really amazed that there wasn't any duplication. Like every single author just wrote as they felt led to write, and then it just all fitted together. I remember a long time ago, there was a big event that was happening in the Philippines. It was the championship basketball game. So it was Toyota and Crispa. It was a championship night. I was in year 4. I was just a little kid, but I started to bet. So I placed a bet of 1 peso for Toyota, and after a few minutes, I placed a bet of 1 peso for Crispa. Uh, the night came, Crispa won the championship. The following day, I collected my 1 peso for winning because I placed a bet on Crispa, but I also lost 1 peso because I placed a bet on Toyota. So in essence, nothing really happened. And that's what it is about, that love is not neutral. Love is always engaged. Love chooses, Joshua in the Bible says, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." And it's the same Bible that mentions that we love Him because He first loved us. God initiated the love. Love is not neutral. So that in essence is what I would say my experience with spirituality in West Sydney. And I like that the name of our church has that word community in it. West Sydney Community Church, because that is where you exercise that love, and that is where you exercise that spirituality. Two authors that I'd like to mention by the name of Henry Cloud and John Townsend, I believe they are the ones who propose, and their thesis is that all things are spiritual. So whether we eat, we drink, we go and have coffee, we go to church, we go to Bible study, have fellowship, prayer, sleeping time, all of this is spiritual. And my journey in West Sydney, having been introduced to certain authors, and some authors whom I have also already read in the past, they add to the beauty of what I was already experiencing in the past. So coming to West Sydney, that added more flavor. So like cooking, it added more flavor to what I have already experienced. I had no particular intention in mind. So it was like I'm leaving the results to what God intends to do with this book. But if I were to think of something that would contribute to people who would read this book, I'd like to go back again to what I mentioned earlier, that love is not neutral, that love is always active, that love always seeks the good of the other. And to bring that awareness, I'm hoping that it will help people become more conscious of the things that they do, the things that they involved in, the things that they decline, what they put their commitment upon. So that's what it is. And for me, like Ravi Zacharias, who mentioned that love is the supreme ethic, I do agree with him strongly on that one. And that's why all other values will always be subordinate to love. I put love as a very high value, in fact, the highest value. And the Bible simply confirms that, because it says that God is love. So it's available in Amazon in both Kindle and paperback. So just go to amazon.com.au, so that's the Australian, or you can also go to amazon.com. I believe the paperback is shipped via the USA, so yeah, it would be more expensive because you'll have to pay for shipping. So I'd encourage you to go and read the book and allow the Holy Spirit to speak to your hearts. It was as if I had traveled 40 years ahead, to be exact. My shrinking posture, weather-worn face and hair, the smoky combination of salt and pepper couldn't argue against this. When did the sun's warm embrace turn into a bone-chilling draft beneath my musty jacket? Where was the dashing young man in distressed jeans and white sneakers? Of course, that was all just a figment of my vibrant imagination. But I wondered, is it possible to take a photograph of tomorrow?